Hi guys, I am Coach Adrien saying thank you for viewing. Today I want us to talk about brainwashing. There is a lot of talk about propaganda, about people imposing their own philosophy on others, people influencing others in a non-scientific way, people not allowing other people by socializing them into half-truths or giving them tools that do not allow them to make intelligent decisions for themselves. I want to borrow from the popular singer Robert Nestor Marley. One of Bob Marley's popular songs on his 1976 studio album, Rastaman Vibration, is Crazy Ballhead. In this song, he labeled all curricula not rooted in Rastafarian philosophy as brainwash education. Now, in his article, entitled Bob Marley and His Emancipation from Mental Slavery, published on 12 May 2011, Horace Campbell noted that, and I quote, Bob Marley's formal education came from the Rastafarian movement, which developed independent bases for educating the Jamaican people so they could escape what was called brainwash education. The Rastafari curriculum presents the African roots, celebrates Africa's contribution to humanity, and call all Black people to emancipate themselves from mental slavery. End of quote. In the worldview of Bob Marley and Rastafarians, any other education curriculum is brainwash education. So what really is brainwash education? One educator puts it this way, and I quote, teaching informs students about the world around them and helps them to become critical thinkers. In contrast, brainwashing provides students with heavily skewed information that leads to one predetermined conclusion. End of quote. So he is saying, in contrast, that brainwashing provides students with a heavily skewed information that give them one predetermined conclusion. So from this perspective, we may conclude that a curriculum that delivers solely pro-market or solely an anti-market or solely pro-imperialist or solely anti-imperialist or solely culturally biased or spiritually biased body of knowledge will fail to produce critical thinkers. That is according to the definition of the educator. And that is to say, you will be graduating students who would most likely be incapable of making wise or unbiased decisions. Now, this prompts me to investigate the Christian perspective or the biblical perspective on the issue. The Biblical perspective starts with the book of Proverbs, and I'm quoting Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. It declares that the fear of God is the beginning of knowledge. So it gives an antithesis. It says, the fear of God is the beginning of knowledge. On on the other side, on the Rastafarian philosophy, it says, all knowledge that is not African centric is brainwash education. So the beginning of knowledge, according to the Rastafarian philosophy, is African centered. To fear the Lord, according to the biblical or Christian perspective, leads us to respect God and his laws. Why should man fear the Lord? One may ask. The poet puts it like this, and Paul quoted it in Acts chapter 17, verse 28. In him we live and move and have our being. Meaning that true knowledge would teach us that God is creator and sustainer. Life is of him and through him. To fear God is to delight in him, but in a way that gives him his proper due as creator and ruler of the universe. Secondly, it is to find our joy, our happiness, our reason for being in him, but also to recognize that he, God, cannot be trifled with, so to speak. It is an acceptance of God's sovereign rule. That is God's definition of the good life, God's command for living. So therefore, true education from the Christian perspective, of biblical perspective, teaches students the principle of honesty by application, honesty, decency, cooperation, fair play, and integrity. Things, virtues that are godly, virtues that are cooperative, virtues that build community, that build personal interaction. Because God has declared that these are standards by which we are to live. True education values each student as created by God, not necessarily coming out of a cultural milieu, but created by God, with gifts to be strengthened, weaknesses to be overcome, and responsibilities to be carried out. So what is the point that we are making here? The point that we are making 2 points actually. One, students are creatures of God, created by God, not product of a cultural milieu, not product of a particular geography. The students did not evolve, but they are creatures of God. And they are under his mandate both to learn and to apply all knowledge for the purpose of knowing and glorifying the Creator, the Maker of God. Secondly, the point that we are making is, therefore, in conclusion, any education curriculum, whether formal, informal, or non-formal, that does not take man, that is, man made in the image of God, according to Genesis chapter 1, verse 27, back to his roots. And what is his roots? God. Back to God, where he comes from, is therefore biased, is skewed, is incomplete, and hence not transformative. In essence, this is brainwash education. So brainwash education is an education that is devoid of God, that does not connect us back to our roots, which is God himself. And we always end our clinic by reminding ourselves of the two principles that help us to make wise decisions. The first one is from William Penn. Wrong is wrong, even if everyone is doing it. Right is right, even if no one is doing it. And the other one, of course, is like it. Truth is truth, even if no one believes it. And a lie is a lie, even if everyone believes it. And we always end up with our final word to the wise. Our word to the wise comes from Jesus Christ himself. And I'm put in Matthew 11, verse 29. Jesus says, "Let me teach you. Come unto me and let me teach you. You will find rest for yourself." The world needs rest. The world finds rest. The world finds themselves, men, women, and children, when they come back to God, when they find their roots, their identity in God. For more information, guys, visit my website, www.goadrians.com. Look out for a new video posted on my YouTube channel, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter on the first day of each month. Connect with me, connect with Coach Adrien via WhatsApp 869-668-9752 or via email peter@goadrians.com. Thank you for viewing. And as I always ask you, please subscribe and like my video. Hey guys, true education takes us back to God, our Creator. For in Him we live, we move, and have our entire being.